episode 407 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you're sitting at home, jamming on some arena, or maybe you're getting Spell Table out to play some Distance Commander.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, we're going to talk about Kaladesh Remastered.
That's right. It is coming out this Thursday. It's going to be here to draft. It's going to be here to shake up Historic.
Yes.
It's here to have a great time and take us down memory lane.
I love all of these new cards being added to Arena, especially added to the Historic format, because there are some real true bangers in this set.
Yeah, absolutely there are.
Yeah, we'll let you know all of the cards we're excited to see in Kaladesh Remastered and some of our favorite draft formats over the years, because we have a video coming out on Wednesday, which is tomorrow if you're listening to when this episode hits the streets running, on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/goodluckhigh5, where I found four actually.
You found four old draft decks.
Old draft decks stashed away in my house, much like the squirrel that I am, still in their little Ultra Pro deck boxes, perfectly preserved like insects in the amber, waiting for me to make
dinosaurs out of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought it'd be fun for us to play these decks against each other, because these are my undefeated decks from back at FNM a million years ago. And if they still hold up today.
Yeah.
So watch out for that video. It's super fun. I loved playing those decks against each other.
It was a very good time.
Just a wonderful memory trip, and also super cool to see those decks versus what people are drafting nowadays and the differences and similarities.
Yeah. And where have we been and what have we done in the years since?
So much.
So much.
Honestly.
A lot of planes.
Do you mean like, I thought you meant like the land type.
What?
And I'm like, Megan's not casting a lot of planes.
I'm not playing a lot of planes.
With an E.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. By the way, I bought some of those new Euro lands on Arena.
Uh-huh.
Because of course I did.
Yeah. And you're a sucker. You're a sucker for those things.
Give me the cosmetics.
You like cosmetics.
Although I want them to print the APAC lands, because those ones have the sunflower planes, the best planes.
Oh.
But anyway, I bought the Euro ones and I was playing with them the other day and I was like, fantastic. It just made me so happy to see them on the battlefield.
Oh, cute.
So many planes.
Did you get the Black Lotus pet?
Yes, I did.
Is it cute?
It's so cute. And you have to click on it to make it bloom.
Oh.
And it comes with sleeves too. And I got the new Saheeli stuff from the Kaladesh Remastered bundle.
Maria's just running around making Arena look good.
I'm making money moves, I think is the word.
Oh, sure. Okay. I haven't heard the phrase money moves.
In a hot minute.
Yeah.
I keep playing with my headphone cord has a life of its own today.
It's so long.
I don't know what is happening with it.
Whatever.
Anyways,
let's do this. But before we do this, let's thank people.
Yeah.
First and foremost, amongst them, patrons of this show. Thank you so much for everyone who has become a patron.
Thank you for everyone.
Thank you, universe, for everyone who's become a patron so far. We are so happy that you brought them into our little corner of the woods.
It's so true.
Yeah.
We have so many wonderful patrons, and you can become one of them, part of the Good Luck High Five family, over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Great rewards for becoming a patron, access to our Discord community, and most importantly, I believe, the feeling that you've done something good for the creators that bring you happiness in your life.
That's right.
Megan and I are patrons of several Magic podcasts and shows that we love and we think make the world a better place. And when we became patrons of those and continue to this day, it makes us feel great to support creators whose content we consume.
So feel the spirit of the holidays move through you and chuck some money at these little orphans who will go and get you the biggest goose.
We will get you the biggest goose. The one that's as big as me.
Yeah.
Oh, great. It's Gilded Goose. Surprise.
Well, that's not a very big goose. Although it's a goose that does a lot of work.
That goose does.
Would you rather have...
Okay, is the question, would I rather have a big goose or a goose who does a lot of work? Is that going to be your question?
Yes.
I want a goose who does a lot of work, Megan.
All right then, Gilded Goose it is.
I need someone to clean my floors, Goose. Get over over here.
All right. Thank you as well to Card Kingdom, another wonderful sponsor of this show. A goose who does a lot of work, if you will.
Absolutely. You can check them out at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. They're so wonderful. Fast shipping, great customer service, all excellent products, all the Commander Legends stuff that you need to play that coming up.
Yes.
They're going to have some Commander streams happening over on their Twitch website. What's it called?
Twitch stream?
Stream? Gosh.
Oh, their Twitch website.
Their Twitch website. I'm 100 years old.
Why?
Not.
Is it raining?
Yes, it's raining here.
It's
At
raining
least it's
here,
not snowing.
and that's like what I'm blaming my current frazzledness on.
I love raining. It's so calm.
Yeah, it is very
Peaceful
calm,
time.
but it's doing something, man.
It's
doing something to my brain.
By the way, if you order for something from Card Kingdom, you can say that you want a Good Luck High Five sticker or token in your order, and they'll give you one for free.
And Card Kingdom is now the last place that has those tokens available. Once they're out, they're out.
They're gone
and we're
forever.
out. There's no more tokens. Goodbye to the era of the GLHF token. So go order from Card Kingdom. Go get you a token.
Let's talk about Kaladesh Remastered hitting Arena on the 12th, which is this Thursday.
That's right. I am so excited because they really knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
With Amonkhet Remastered.
It was great.
And so I just want to see, what is the set like to draft? What is the set going to do for historic?
Yep.
What's going to happen?
Well, we get a sneak peek first thing on Thursday because you can draft it immediately. You can start building your historic decks and trying things out on the ladder. I'm very excited to see some of these cards, the old favorites, come back into being on Arena. I'm going to kick it off here, Megan.
Yes.
The card I'm looking forward to most, which is SRAM Senior Edificer.
That's right. Maria, you love SRAM.
SRAM.
You love what SRAM does. You love who he is.
I love what he stands for and everything he believes in.
Yeah. Tell us about what SRAM stands for and believes in.
Okay, so SRAM is just your little tutu bear, dwarf advisor. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card.
Oh.
I love this guy. He was responsible for my favorite standard deck, or at least one of my favorite standard decks that involved a lot of drawing cards and playing vehicles. I also love vehicles, and of course I love auras. Hello, who am I?
Yeah.
And SRAM just basically rewards you for doing everything that you want to do already and helping out your aggressive deck or your tempo deck or however you SRAM be able to have card advantage, which is not something those decks generally get.
Yeah.
So,
however you SRAM.
however you SRAM is okay. It's the right way to SRAM.
Yeah.
So I am
No
looking
wrong way
forward
to SRAM.
to SRAMming people big time in historic.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah, this also reminds me of a cycle, because they're right here next to each other, of SRAM's expertise,
Yep.
the expertise spells, which I had completely forgotten about.
Yeah, me too, actually.
But this one is 2 white for a sorcery. Create 3 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens. You may cast a spell with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost.
Yeah.
And they are all of that type. They're all someone's expertise.
Yep.
And they are a sorcery that has some sort of ability. And then also, I think Baral's expertise might be an instant.
You get to cast something for free.
Yes, but then you get to cast something for free.
Yeah.
Of 1 lesser converted mana cost. Pretty cool.
Yeah, these spells are cool. And
Yeah.
this reminds me too that servos came around with Kaladesh.
That's right.
The
Our
first
little
time.
buddies who now just seem like, they've always existed. But no, they came into existence with Kaladesh.
And those little grubs.
Oh, yeah.
Gremlins.
Gremlins, Maria's favorite thing.
They're so cute.
They are.
One of
They're-
the cutest creatures in Magic.
Yeah. I'm just remembering as we're looking at this,
Let's
Toolcraft
remember.
Exemplar.
Oh yeah, this was great. He was in my SRAM deck, I believe.
Great is a really weird way to say it, but whatever. Single white for a 1/1, and you're like, that doesn't sound so bad.
Sounds great.
But it says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control an artifact, Toolcraft Exemplar gets +2/+1 until end of turn. If you control 3 or more artifacts, it also gains first strike until end of turn.
Yeah.
So it just comes down, usually people were attacking for 3 on turn 2 with this thing.
Yeah, and it's fabulous at crewing.
Yes.
Because your crew is your vehicle's already going to give you that bonus.
Yeah, and you
onto
can use
Toolcraft
it.
Exemplar. Hey, have you never crewed a vehicle? You haven't lived.
Wow. I mean, if you have not crewed a vehicle, get ready.
Because
also, where have you been?
It's so fun.
It's very fun.
It's so fun. I love crewing vehicles.
Yes. Oh, that reminds me. I didn't see if my arch nemesis is back.
Oh, your arch
Which
nemesis?
we know Smuggler's Copter is not back.
Yeah.
But is Heart of Kieran back?
Heart of Kieran.
Please say no.
Yep, there he
Oh
is.
no.
Heart of Kieran is here.
Heart of Kieran, 2 mana for a 4/4 legendary artifact vehicle. Flying, vigilance, because why not?
Unacceptable.
Crew 3. You may remove a loyalty counter from a planeswalker you control rather than pay Heart of Kieran's crew cost.
Yeah. Yep. Great vehicle. A+. Number 1.
Why? Why?
Were you killed by a lot of Heart of Kierans in your day? I mean, the card is great.
We all were.
Yeah.
We also have one of the cutest cards of all time. Also,
so cute.
A filigree familiar.
I love this card.
It's a little artifact fox. It's a cute artifact fox. 3 mana for a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. When it dies, you draw a card.
Great card.
Great card.
Put in your deck.
Cute
Your
card.
draft deck.
Great card.
Cute card. Great
Do
card.
it.
I love that card.
Yeah. Cute card. Great card. Great card.
It's a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
Cute card. Great card. Great card.
Yeah. Just while we're in here talking about artifacts.
Yeah.
I think there's one that we all gotta talk
We have
about.
to
The
talk
elephant
about it.
in the room.
Yeah, let's do it.
Etherworks Marvel.
Okay.
This card was a problem.
It was a card.
It was a problem. And like one of the cards that made it a problem is here, also in Historic.
Yeah.
Which is Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger.
So talk about what Etherworks Marvel does, because it's kind of bizarre.
4 mana for a legendary artifact. Whenever a permanent you control is put into a graveyard, you get an energy.
Yep.
Tap, pay 6 energy. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast a spell from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Yikes.
Guess what? All that these decks did was play a million ways to make energy.
Yep.
You get energy on turn 1. You'd get energy on turn 2. You'd get energy on turn 3. And by the time you played this on 4, like usually you couldn't quite activate it yet, but turn 5 Ulamog, that was a thing.
Yes.
And it's a cat, like you're casting it.
Yep.
It has you cast the card, so you get the cast trigger on Ulamog where you exile 2 things.
Yeah, this was a wild standard environment.
It really
when
was.
this was around. I recall, what was this, Pro Tour Nashville?
Yes.
And a lot of people were just like sitting around in misery because it was just very random. You're like, spin the wheel, I guess.
Okay, yeah, like you would spin and be like, did I hit? And your opponent would spin and be like, did I hit?
Yep.
Who hit?
Yeah, it was kind of dumb.
It was kind of dumb, but here we go again.
Here we go again
on our own.
Casting Ulamog on his throne.
Wow, okay. You made it work.
I don't know. Ulamog doesn't seem like the kind of person to be on a throne.
There's no throne big enough.
No throne sloopy enough.
Yeah. There's also a very cool card in Aetherflux Reservoir.
Yeah, this card is cool.
There were some decks that tried to be combo decks with this.
Yeah.
Maybe it will exist in Historic.
Ooh.
A person can hope. 4 mana artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. So it's like a little exponential ability. And pay 50 life. Aetherflux Reservoir deals 50 damage to any target.
I remember Kenji playing around with this deck in Standard back in the day, like making a quote unquote eggs deck where you are just casting a bunch of teeny little recursive spells in order to try and pop off with Reservoir. It was quite entertaining.
Pop off.
Pop off, yo.
Yeah, you were trying to pop off. Anyways, just, very, very fun stuff.
If you've never had the joy of also playing with energy cards, welcome to Kaladesh.
That's right. Energy is one of the mechanics of Kaladesh. It is sort of like another thing that you can... It's a resource. There we go. I was like, it's a thing that you can spend to do things. And what I'm describing is the word resource.
It is a limited resource, if you will.
Yes.
Yes.
So Maria, tell us about energy.
Okay, so there's a bunch of energy creators and cards that spent energy in this set to get various bonuses. It's basically like a supplemental mana system in its own kind of weird way. Let's look at this card just straight up because this one was played in standard back in the day for a while. Greenbelt Rampager for a single green. It was a 3/4 elephant.
You're saying what?
Yep.
And we're agreeing with you.
When Greenbelt Rampager enters the battlefield, pay 2 energy. If you can't, return Greenbelt Rampager to its owner's hand and you get an energy.
Oh.
So basically you could build your energy resources with Greenbelt Rampager by itself and then eventually pay the 2 energy to keep your 3/4 1-mana creature on the battlefield.
Sometimes as soon as turn 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a turn 2, 3/4. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Nope.
We're going to talk about a card that's strictly energy that got banned.
And like, here it is again. And like when we're taught, oh boy, look, I'm about to go off.
Pop off, Megan.
Because we're talking about Aetherworks Marvel, and I was like, sometimes you can make energy on turn 1. Well, guess what? Hello, attune with Ether.
Yep.
1 green, sorcery, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. You get 2 energy. How much? 2
for a single mana. And everybody opened the game with this card and then was able to just go nuts.
And their mom.
And that card, it seems so simple and so innocuous, ban worthy.
Yes,
it
exactly.
Had to be banned.
Attune with Ether, like you can go that into Greenbelt Rampager.
Mm-hmm.
You could do the little Long Tusk Cub.
Oh,
Here
Long
it
Tusk
is.
Cub.
Another like icon of like teamer energy, of a more aggressive teamer energy sometimes. Long Tusk Cub, 1 and a green for a 2/2 creature cat. Whenever Long Tusk Cub deals combat damage to a player, you get 2 energy.
Yep.
Pay 2 energy, put a +1/+1 counter on Long Tusk Cub.
It's so funny. That seems like I'm like, that's standard playable. Oh, yes, it was.
It was so
Powerhouse.
standard playable. It was, yeah. As well as Bristling Hydra.
Oh, yeah.
We're just going over some of the hits of the standard environment.
Teamer was a huge color combo in standard.
Yes,
so
enormous. 2 green for a 4/3. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy. Pay 3 energy, put a +1/+1 counter on Bristling Hydra. It gains hexproof until end of turn.
you can never kill it.
You can never kill it.
It's never killable. Straight up
gonna live forever.
Straight up, you can never kill it. Yeah. This was what standard was like for a while. It was extremely like
Energy centric,
really dominated. And so funny to think like nowadays we're like 1 deck of standard, we're oppressed. Help, I'm being oppressed. And it's like, well, same thing happened in the past.
Exactly. Not the first time.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, Servant of the Conduit. This was another one.
Yep.
1 and a green for a 2/2. When Servant of the Conduit enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy, pay an energy, add 1 mana of any color. Mm-hmm. So like just a little ramp.
You know what? All these cards are kind of doing a ramp thing. And I'm wondering, we saw Omnath kind of dominant and historic when we last played it in a major tournament. And now I'm like, I think ramp might still be the name of the game in historic once these cards
get in there. I think we're going to see turn 1 attune with Ether.
Yeah.
Turn 2 attune. Turn 2, maybe Servant of the Conduit. We have 4 energy.
Okay.
We haven't even talked about our little friend. Where is he?
Which friend? Rogue Refiner.
Turn 3, Rogue Refiner. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card and you get 2 energy.
Yep.
6 energy. Turn 4.
Aetherworks Marvel.
Activate it. Ulamog.
We're doing it in historic.
Do you know what? We're calling it. Like, it's gonna be a thing.
People are gonna do it.
If you want to just like crush some historic cues right away
First
on Thursday,
thing. Yep.
Like just build that deck.
And you certainly will.
And you're gonna.
Boop, 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 boop. That's you climbing the ladder.
That's
in
you
case
climbing
you didn't
the
know.
ladder. Or be ready for everyone else who's gonna do it and come with like a million disallows.
Totes.
Because disallow was at least, thank goodness, one small tool that this had.
It was a thing.
I remember disallowing both Ulamogs and Ulamog triggers. Because you couldn't get got, right? Like, okay. Disallow was 1 blue, counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability.
Yeah.
So you would just have to be like, am I going to counter this Ulamog but get 2 things exiled, or am I going to counter this exile ability? And like hope
leave
that I
the Ulamog removal. Yeah.
Removal for it. Oh, boy.
Speaking of blue cards in this set, Megan,
yes.
I believe we have to talk about your favorite card from the set. I talked about SRAM.
Yes.
You have a personal favorite that might be your soulmate.
I have a friend who has come back, and I am so happy. I've thought about them all the time while they were gone. Their name is Torrential Gearhulk.
I wish you could see the look on Megan's face right now.
Torrential Gearhulk. A creature, you say? Megan's talking about a creature? Yes, I am.
Oh.
Because 4 blue for a 5/6 flash. When Torrential Gearhulk enters the battlefield, you may cast target instant card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So 6 mana, you can just cast an instant.
This card was the format too.
Yeah, it was also format defining, format shaping.
Format shaping. This card is so big and it has flash, which is a huge issue if you're playing an aggressive deck like me and wondering, do they have the Gearhulk? Because if they do, you are super duper hosed. They flash in a 5/6, block your creature, cast an instant for free. They probably kill something else.
On something else.
Draw cards. It doesn't matter. Do you remember when there was control decks with Gearhulk in standard and like the matches took literal 10 billion years to finish?
Yeah, I do. Blue, like there is a blue-red control deck at the same time as Aetherworks Marvel.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Was this your deck that you used to win that PPTQ?
Yes, it is. It was Torrential Gearhulk. It was a blue-red control deck, and wow, did I like it.
Great stuff.
Great stuff. It also had Glimmer of Genius.
Yep.
A beautiful card draw spell.
Are you looking at this right now?
A beautiful card draw spell. 3 and a blue, instant, scry 2, then draw 2 cards, you get 2 energy. Great.
What more do you need in a card
more do you need?
Draw spell? Like nothing, basically.
Oh, so, we've only talked about like 2 colors.
We've talked about 2 colors, and the power level is huge here.
Enormous.
Like, people talk about power creep. We sing about it on our musical episodes. But here, I mean, from this standard to our current standard, honestly, it seems like this is extremely powerful as well.
That's true. We're going to see the introduction of Fatal Push into Historic, which is a big player in Modern.
Deal. Yeah.
And in its standard environment, single black, instant, destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 2 or less. Revolt, which is a mechanic we haven't talked about yet from the set, but destroy that creature if it has converted mana cost 4 or less instead, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn.
Okay, yeah. Huge deal to see this card introduced into Historic. Premium removal spell, like you said, huge deal in Modern as well.
Yeah, instant.
Kill basically anything you care about.
Yeah, crazy. Wild stuff. Just so many memories. Gonti, Lord of Luxury.
This card is really cool.
2 black for a 2/3 legendary creature, Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of target opponent's library. Exile one of them face down, then put the rest on the bottom of that library in a random order. You may look at and cast the card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it was mana of any type to cast that spell.
Gonti Steal, Gonti Cast.
Yeah.
There's another card in here that kind of like sort of went away later on, but was pretty incredible when it first came around. By the way, there's not only the blue Gearhulk, there's a Gearhulk of every color.
There's a Gearhulk of every color. Another one of the big players was Noxious Gearhulk.
Yeah.
4 black for a 5/4 menace. When it enters the battlefield, you may destroy another target creature. If a creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness.
Great. I love drafting these Gearhulks. They're so fun in draft.
Yeah, they're so good.
I was thinking about Winding Constrictor.
Oh, yeah. Wow. We haven't even talked about Winding Constrictor.
Yeah, Winding Constrictor kind of has, a couple of the things that are going on with this format. It's kind of exemplary of those mechanics. Little green-black 2/2 Sneck that loved counters.
That's right. There was like a 2/3. Yeah, there was a huge counters deck for a while, black-green counters, called Black-Green Constrictor after this card. If one or more counters would be put on an artifact or creature you control, that many +1 each of those kinds of counters are put on that permanent instead. If you would get one or more counters, you get that many +1 of each of those kinds of counters instead.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a lot. If you like counters,
bonus counters.
You're not going to get Walking Ballista on this set.
Bonus counters for everybody.
You can probably have some fun with that card for sure.
Yeah. We have Saheeli Rai back as well.
Welcome back, Saheeli.
Yes.
She doesn't have Felidar Guardian.
No.
Which was, do you remember? Let's just take a moment. Do you remember that Felidar Guardian debacle?
Yes.
Famous Magic debacles. If you don't recall this, if you
famous debacle,
if you weren't around for this, Felidar Guardian plus Saheeli Rai is an infinite combo.
Infinite combo. You make infinite 1/4s.
Infinite cats.
Then you attack your opponent with them.
Yeah. So they had this infinite combo, and somebody sent a pizza to Wizards of the Coast that said something like "ban cat" on it or whatever. I can't remember. And it was in fact banned.
It was in fact banned eventually. Dovin Bond is here.
Oh, I love Dovin.
Yeah. A Johnny Unyielding. Forgot about that guy.
DePaula, Pilot Exemplar.
Yeah. Do you know who I will never forget? Cloud Blazer.
You know who I'll also never forget? Cloud Blazer.
Cloud Blazer. Responsible for one of the longest days of my life.
It's so true.
Yeah, it really is.
Cloud Blazer is a 2/2 flyer, by the way, for 5 mana, 3 blue-white. Flying, when it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards.
It's great.
It's a very
love
good
it,
card.
obviously. But we were at the pre-release.
Yep.
Up at Loading Ready Run's Moonbase for this. And for this pre-release Kaladesh. And Blake Rasmussen of Wizards of the Coast, who is also one of the guests, made a deck that would just never win, but also never lose.
We'll never forgive him.
We'll never forgive him.
He had all the Cloud Blazers.
We didn't get to go to hamburgers.
Yeah, because we were there so late.
Because we were there so late.
And everybody,
Blake.
I was playing against him.
I also had to play against him.
You played against him too?
Yeah.
So we both felt the pain of this.
What a nightmare.
It was. The game took
It was a nightmare.
10 billion years.
But it was Blake's fault, not Cloud Blazer's. Cloud Blazer is perfect and can be no wrong.
So get ready to play some Cloud Blazer and draft because you are going to love that card.
Card's gonna be
it does literal
great.
Everything that you could possibly want.
Yeah. Oh, man. So also Fabricate is one of the mechanics. And it's on cards like this, which I think of as a classic one, Pima Outrider, 2 green for a 3/3 trample. Fabricate 1.
Boom.
So Fabricate, you can either put a +1/+1 counter on the creature, or however many +1/+1 counters equal to the Fabricate, or you can make that many 1/1 servos.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great choice.
And so there were decks like that had also cards like Ridge Scale Tusker, 3 green for a 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control.
Yep.
So there are some go wide strategies also, where you could, find ways to pump up these teams of little fabricators.
You know who I'm looking at right now, Megan? Who is famous for a Good Luck High Five test.
The Riparian Tiger test.
The Riparian Tiger test.
Yeah. We've used this in our worst rares to open in your pre-release video, which we have asked ourselves, is this card, like, would you rather have this or just a Riparian Tiger?
And Riparian Tiger is 3 green for a 4/4 cat with trample. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 energy. Whenever Riparian Tiger attacks, you may pay 2 energy. If you do, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
Just a little common. It's like
basic.
just solid.
Yeah.
But it's a solid card.
Solid
card. You could win with it and you could lose to it.
Absolutely.
The Riparian Tiger test.
So if you're trying to figure out a card, like to play in your sealed pool and you're like, I'd just rather have a 5 mana 4/4. Then that rare is probably not great.
Exactly. 5 mana 4/4 trample.
Trample. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've had some people mail us Riparian Tigers over the years.
Yeah, we have. Oh, I love those guys.
Yeah, it's so cool. So that card's famous for our little test, but
yeah. Oh man, Carrie Zev is back.
Carrie Zev with her monkey.
Ooh, and this was a staple in mono red for a while.
Yes.
In a mono red aggro deck. 1 in a red for a 1/3 first strike menace. Whenever Carrie Zev Skyship Raider attacks, create Ragavan. A legendary 2/1 red monkey creature token. Ragavan enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. Exile that token at the end of combat.
I love this monkey.
Yes.
It's such a sneaky monkey. Yeah, this card is so cool.
Yeah, great card.
Her expertise is also in the set. We talked about the expertise cards, and this one prompted a rules change. I want to say. It wasn't like they banned it, I believe, but you could use Karizev's expertise to do some stupid stuff in Modern.
Oh, yeah. They changed it. They didn't change this card, but split cards.
Yep.
They had to change to be
the converted mana cost is the addition of both sides.
Both sides.
Yep.
Yes.
Because people are using this for some shenanigans.
Yeah.
Because they were just counting one half of the card instead of the whole thing, the front side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
oh wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had it happen to me at one Modern event and then never again.
Wow.
Because I was like, wait, is that Yep, that is surely that is legal.
Okay then.
And it was too good. It was too good.
Well, Maria, I am certainly really looking forward to drafting this.
Yeah, it looks really, really fun. And like we said, we had such a great time drafting the other remastered set. And this one looks like it's going to be super fun as well.
Yes.
And yeah, looking forward to building that SRAM deck in Historic too.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, we forgot Pia Nalar. She's here.
Pia Nalar.
2 and a red for a 2/2.
Chandra's mom.
Yeah,
Has got it going
on. When she enters the battlefield, you get a Thopter, which is a 1/1 with flying. 1 and a red, target artifact creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. 1, sacrifice an artifact, target creature can't block this turn. Also a cornerstone of that mono red deck.
Yep, for sure. And these vehicles that we found in this set, and some of these dwarves were part of an artifact vehicle deck.
That's right.
That took down a Pro Tour.
Oh, wow. Mardu vehicles.
Mardu vehicles.
I completely forgot. I willfully forgot.
Yes, you did. Fast little cars. Go, go, go. Zoom,
it was like 7 out of the 8.
Was it really?
Mardu vehicles.
Of that top 8?
Yeah. And there was like 1 constrictor, maybe 2 constrictors and 6 vehicles.
This was the Pro Tour in Ireland, question mark?
That sounds right. Yeah, in Dublin.
Yeah. Wow. 7 out of 8 of the top 8.
I might be wrong. It might have been 6 out of 8, but still.
No, this deck was dominant for a while too.
Ooh, Mardu vehicles.
And vehicles too, like when they initially invented them, they went through so many different iterations to make them work in Magic.
Yeah.
They tried like a billion things and finally settled on the way that they work now.
Yeah. They are very cool.
Which is crewing them.
Yeah.
Which you've got to do before you attack, by the way.
You have to do it before you move to attacks.
Yes. Yeah.
So you technically can do it at the beginning of combat, but once you move to your attack step, it is too late, buddy. So just remember that.
Yeah, I used to say to myself, there's a crew step before the move to combat.
Before move to combat.
Yeah,
and that's how I remember your main phase.
Go to my crew step. It's not real, but that's the way I put it in my head.
Bomat Courier. This was also one of the villains. Villains of Mono Red.
You're going to be like, wait a second, this card was a villain?
I'm going to tell you about this card and you're going to be like, Megan, what? 1 mana for a 1/1.
Okay, get out.
1 generic mana because it's a little artifact. Haste. Whenever it attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. Red, discard your hand, sacrifice Bomat Courier, put all cards exiled with it into their owner's hands.
It's just a little robot mailman.
Ugh.
Zipping around delivering the mail.
I hate it.
Why is it so good though, Megan?
It's so good because obviously red just empties its hand so fast.
Yep.
And so usually you're activating this when all you've got is maybe a land or something in your hand, or your hand is empty and you just get to refill. Red shouldn't draw cards.
And also, this is like people just attack with it willy-nilly. They don't care if it dies because then they can just sacrifice it, get the cards off from under it. Yep, doesn't matter. Little Bomat Courier.
Bomat Courier.
Just very inconspicuous, but hiding in those shadows.
Yep.
Ready to give you some mailers that you don't want or need.
Get out of here,
Bomat Courier. I don't need that magazine of weird Christmas presents. Thank you, Bomat Courier. No. I don't want it. It's going to be recycled. But if you have a deck that you're excited to play in Kaladesh Remastered, let us know what it is. Tweet us at GLHF Magic because we want the scoop on the hot historic deck list with this. Or if you have a super awesome draft, we love to see your draft picks. Just let us know because we're super stoked with for this, and we hope you are too. Okay, everybody, Megan and I spent this past weekend working our little toes off.
That's right.
For the MPL and Rivals MTG League weekend. It was the second league weekend that was held for both of these leagues. They're going to play 7 of these total. By the end of the season, all the points that they've racked up in them will determine where they are in the gauntlet. These are like kind of cutthroat tournaments
Yes.
that determine if they stay in the MPL, if they fall down to Rivals,
if they fall off completely,
if they fall off, or if they move up
face of the earth.
they fall off the face of the earth.
Face of the earth.
And so we got to see a bunch of players doing their thing, playing some standard, getting some points, not getting some points in these events. Ooh. And this is a brand new format. Like, this has not been tried before here in this 2020-2021 season. This is a new thing. So we kind of want to talk about how do we think this is going as far as organized play, competitive play goes.
Yeah. I think one thing that I want to bring up that I haven't really heard people talk about is that, like, I feel bad for the players that have to play. Like, Li Shiqian has been tweeting that he's playing like in the middle of the night for him.
Yeah. Did you see Javier Dominguez playing yesterday?
No.
I don't know what time it was for him, but he literally looked like he was asleep on stream.
Oh.
He was like this, with like his eyes closed. And yeah, I mean, that's like, legit.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't talked about the fact that this has been strongly skewed for US players.
For sure.
That's an issue.
And I mean, too, as well as, I mean, like for GPs and stuff, that is also the case. And Pro Tours generally,
yes,
that is the case.
But those at least have been like, oh, you're traveling to this place. Right? Like for Pro Tours, it was like usually a lot of people got there the week before, so you have time to acclimate and you're testing and all that kind of thing. And so I guess like part of me is like, hey, if you are actually trying to make a worldwide pro league, then you need to consider the fact that you have created a system that is going to, I think over time, overwhelmingly favor like North American and I guess South American also players.
I wonder what you do.
Like, honestly, what if every, like, not every weekend, but of the 7 weekends, like, right, like these two are US time zones. Yeah. The next two are time zoned for Europe. And you're just like, look, I'm sorry, but it can't just be one time zone all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see them ever doing that, but they certainly could.
Exactly. And like the next two are like time zone for APAC players.
Yeah.
Because I guess it just kind of makes me mad when things are US skewed and people don't realize it or it's happening because people aren't thinking about it and they're just considering that this is the default. And I think that when you're talking about people's livelihoods and them trying the best that they can, like that's messed up.
Li Shiqian also tweeted about it a bunch, talking about how tired he was and that he was making misplays because of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's definitely been a player who has talked about this significantly in the past because that it always brings up the question of what do we do because there's not as many events in the APAC region.
Yeah.
And he talked about it at his Hall of Fame induction, actually. He's like, hey, we only get like 1 or 2 big tournaments a year and it really makes it super, super hard for us to stay on the train or qualify. Whereas it's much easier for other players in other parts of the world. And, you know, now we don't have, I mean, like.
Now we don't have that. Exactly.
Online.
Now it's just all online. We don't have like the, you know, the physical.
But we will again.
Restriction. Yeah.
I
so
believe.
anyways, yeah. And like before it was all online, that was a big issue for South American players also with only having like one big event in South America.
So a lot of pressure on that one event.
Exactly.
To do well.
And like now they get the bonus of being like, oh, they're like in the bracket of time zones that is favored right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was just like, that's my random bone to pick.
Yeah, there is definitely, I think, problems with the system currently that we've been seeing put stress on players, which are, I guess we'll talk about these negatives first, which is, 2, I was interviewing players a bunch over the weekend, and I would ask them, you know, like, how do you feel playing in this tournament from home as opposed to going to a bunch of Grand Prix every year? And like, is it easier on you? Is it tougher? And I think kind of universally the players said an answer, which I didn't expect, which was it really stressed them out. Yeah. Because each one of these matches is really, really important. Yeah. True, there are only about 70 of them, but the fact remains is that if you want to stay in the MPL, there's only 4 slots that guarantee you stay in the MPL without playing in the Gauntlet tournament. So every loss is really, really bad. Yeah. Because there's so few of them. Whereas if you went to a bunch of Grand Prix or whatever, you could just kind of take your losses.
You could have your good days.
You can have a bad weekend.
Or you can have a bad weekend. Then also once you have a bad weekend, you can just like cut your losses and be like, I'm going to go like
I'm going home.
I'm going to go have dinner or like, I'm going to like
go play in a different one.
Yes.
Which, you know, on the flip side of that, you do have to spend money on hotel room, on travel and time and all of these kinds of things that you don't have to spend money on in this scenario. But that's not to say that the stressors of this event are not extreme. And in my opinion, a bit too extreme for these players. I think retaining 4 from the MPL only, like you're going to have more people stay in because of the gauntlet tournament, but guaranteed only 4 is, I think, too extreme. Yeah. That's like potentially an insane amount of turnover, which, like I said, it's probably not going to happen. But like just the pressure that would put on someone. Like imagine if you had to play for your job, which they do. Okay,
yes, if you had to play for.
I admit that this is the career that they have chosen and whatever. Yes. But at the same time,
playing one tournament to keep your job or lose your job.
That's pretty scary. So I can understand the stress of this too.
Absolutely. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And some people did say that they that it was nice at least to be able to be in a familiar space and be able to like go and get some food that wasn't convention center food in between rounds or that kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, something I do like about it is the fact that we get these cool tournaments that we can watch every so often, and they're always different. Mm-hmm. It's not just one tournament that the players have to do well in. It's like more than 7 if you're counting the Zendikar like Rising championships, split championships that also give them points. Yeah. So like they have to be consistently good over all those weeks. They can't just be like, I did good in one tournament, give me a trophy.
Yeah, which is nice, right? Like it's good to reward consistent performance.
Yes.
So that way you don't feel like you're going into every week and being like, I need to spike one thing.
Right, exactly.
Although if it comes down to it and you're in the gauntlet, then you are in the position.
Yes,
like, then spike one thing.
You definitely do have to spike one thing. The most important thing.
The most important thing.
Oh my gosh, I just realized how brutal that tournament. I mean, like I knew it was going to be brutal, but now I'm thinking about it even more, and I'm like,
can you imagine interviewing people at that?
No, that's what I'm thinking about.
Hey, so you just lost that?
Oh my god! And they're like, I guess I'm unemployed. Like, oh my gosh! This is like American Ninja Warrior level stuff here.
Yeah, yeah. You fall off that weird monkey bars. You're off that weird monkey bars for good.
Weird monkey bars. The Magic organized play system. Weird monkey bars. That is a great way to put it, honestly.
Like, I don't know what else to call anything in American Ninja Warrior. Like, how can you describe any of the things that they're on? You're like, I don't know, the weird rope net ladder.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right? Like that one that's like a weird rope ladder net. Or the part where they just have to run up a wall.
Just run up that wall, no big deal.
Yeah, that's the one that always scared me the most.
Oof, I couldn't run up a wall.
Right, it looks spooky.
I'm not a spider.
They have to run up a wall.
I saw a video of somebody who drew a spider on a notepad, and the cat came and tried, and they thought it was real. Oh. So I want to try it with my cat.
Once upon a time, this has really taken a detour. Once upon a time, I was like browsing Facebook on my phone, as you do when you're in bed sometimes.
As you do.
And someone, for some reason, had like something came up where it was a photo of a snake, and my cat saw it and she hissed and she leaped away.
How big? Like, what did the snake look like?
It was just like a little green snake.
Was it like in the grass? Or?
Yeah, it was in the grass.
Wow.
It was like a little, like it was a green snake in the grass, and she saw it and like hissed, swiped, and jumped.
Oh my
And like gosh. She doesn't really do stuff like that.
That's wild.
It was really wild.
That's like some cucumber kind of thing going on there.
Is it? Do they think the cucumbers are snakes?
Yeah,
that's what I figured.
Yeah, okay. And you put it behind the cat, and they go boing into the air.
This I didn't even mean to do. I didn't mean to do it.
That's really funny. I can't believe
she was like, ah,
snake. There's snake.
My cat was like, snake.
Maybe she was just mad at Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, she was. She was like, stop doom scrolling on your phone.
This past weekend, Gruul Adventures was the #1 deck, in case you're wondering, in Standard, dethroning Rogues, Rogues, who was best in the first league weekend.
That's right.
And
Esper Doomfortold is making a little climb, which I love, because talk about just like a random set of cards.
It's so random, and it is really good against both of these decks.
It is.
Or especially against Gruul, I should say. So like whoever brought that did it right.
Exactly. I love that like this metagame has boiled down to a very like rock, paper, scissors kind of place.
Yes.
With some space for like weird outliers to come in and try and do their thing.
Yeah.
Because you have Rogues, which is pretty good against stuff like Blink.
Yep.
But is it's a toss up against Gruul, slightly unfavored.
Yeah, I would say so.
But then you have the Blink decks, which are good against Gruul.
Yep.
And so people are like, okay, what deck do I think other people are going to bring? Should I bring Yorion and they're going to bring Gruul? Like, what am I going to do?
It's the face with the math in the background.
Exactly.
GIF. Yeah, did you happen to see the Is It Control deck played by Andrew Cuneo?
Yes, and Shota Yasuoka brought a Jeskai Control deck also.
Yes, that's true. Andrew Cuneo's had the wonderful card Midnight Clock in it.
Oh my goodness, it was so random.
Performed just as poorly as you would imagine that it did.
Yes, it did.
Not good.
It was very bad. It also played Kiora Best the Sea God.
Yep.
It's a nice, light little 7-mana enchantment for you.
But I gotta hand it to him. I was happy to see it on coverage.
Ugh.
But it just looks so terrible.
What a thing.
And he actually is at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Yes, he is.
After bringing that deck. I don't know how he did the first weekend. But
I think also quite
that's
poorly.
Where he is.
Yeah.
But current standings after 2 weeks of play, Paulo Vitor Damaderosa and Ray Sato are in the lead for the MPL, both with 15 wins.
Yep. I mean, PV, surprising nobody.
I mean, honestly, like we said, like this format, I believe it will shake out the people who are consistently great at the game.
And one of them is PV.
Yep.
One of them is, love him or hate him, Marcio Carvalho.
Yeah, he's at 14 points.
He's good. I always love seeing Gabriel Nassif at the top.
Yep.
Because I love somebody who's on their comeback.
He's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Reed Duke also at 14. So all three of those people at 14 points.
Yeah.
So none of that, I would say, is surprising to me.
Absolutely not.
And in the Rivals League, Luis Scott Vargas leads there with 18 points.
Woo.
So that one I think is kind of cool because, in my head, in the narrative I've invented in my own head, Luis is like, I'm in the Rivals League, huh? Well, just you wait.
Just wait. Because he was almost, right? There were some ways that math could have played out where it was him in the MPL.
Yes. I forgot about that. Yeah, that is true.
It could have been.
Top 4 in there is Luis, Matt Sperling, Stanislav Sifka, and Bernardo Santos.
Yeah.
At the top of the Rivals standings too.
Nice.
So that's where we are with organized play, competitive play magic, and those league weekends.
Yep.
The next time you get to see these players battle for points, like I said, is the Zendikar Rising Championship the first weekend of December, which is a bigger tournament. I don't actually know how many points, if they get points per matches or if they win, they get...
Literally no idea.
I don't know. We'll find out and we'll let you know.
Yeah, I feel like even if you got point per win, if you make top 8, that's pretty good because you're getting 4 more potential wins. Mm-hmm. Anyways...
But yeah, we'll find out about that. But those are kind of our thoughts on this format as it sits in its baby stages.
Yes.
First time it exists ever.
You need to have something to account for those time zones, man. I don't know. That's just my soapbox for the moment.
It's my favorite brand of soap.
For the moment.
I can't believe that it doesn't already exist.
I can so easily.
For the moment.
I can so easily imagine that. Soap.
I can see the commercial right
now. It's by Dove.
Yeah.
Dove. For the moment.
Hey everybody, it's time to say thank you to our other sponsor of the show, Ultra Pro.
That's right. And today we're thanking them very specifically for having kept these great draft decks of Maria's safe for literally 8 years.
Yeah, I found these when I was cleaning my house. They say great drafts on the top, and I was like, what if? And Meghan and I played these against each other in a new video that'll be on our channel this week. They're so cool.
Yeah. But point is, if you want your decks to last forever, no matter what little hidey hole you've forgotten them in.
Hidey hole!
Because you did.
It was definitely, they were in a hidey hole for sure.
Ultra Pro, man. They'll keep them. They'll keep them safe.
If you want your decks around till the end of time, get yourself some Ultra Pro deck boxes, sleeves, binders, whatever you need.
Yeah.
We're so happy to have them as a sponsor and sponsor that video. So go check it out on Wednesday because...
Check it out.
I played my very first draft deck
do. Oh, and it's great. I love going over it because there's some parts where you're like, this is a great draft deck. And there's some parts where you're like, this is the first deck I ever drafted.
Be gentle. that's this episode of Good Luck High Five. Thank you so much for coming along with us for another journey through Magic.
That's right. What am I saying right now?
You're saying the words, what am I saying right now? Just to clarify for you.
Thank you.
Yep. No problem. I'll always be here to tell you what you were saying.
So what a Monday. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you also to everyone who is a patron of the show over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Thank you, universe, for the patrons of the show.
Our patrons are the best people,
It's true.
period.
It's true. And you can talk about all sorts of things with them in our Discord if you become a patron.
Yeah.
It's just a great place to hang out.
We've even got an Among Us channel in there.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a channel for everything, every kind of Magic topic you need. If you need help with a draft, you can post in there. If you like to check out my new standard deck, post it in there.
Yes.
Etc.
All of it.
We also want to thank once again Card Kingdom and Ultra Pro for being incredible sponsors of our show. We've got so much content coming out this week. It's very exciting. Our video on Wednesday, our new board game video
Review,
posted
yeah.
on GLHF Board Games YouTube channel.
So consider becoming a patron. Help make all of that continue to happen.
Get ready to get remastered, Megan.
Oh, man. I am. Ready to get it on DVD.
That's right.